Craftin' buddies. It's Lori, late night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Craftin'. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in the United States, coming to you late because of audio issues again. We're going to pretend it's May 5th. Happy Cinco de Mayo at 11:59 p.m. Okay, finally I have audio. Yay! Let me get my other device set up and we will get cooking. There we go. Sound on everything. Awesome. Hello, Rosa. So we're on take 2 because I had no audio again. So I even shut down my phone all the way the first time, restarted it, set everything up, no audio. So I shut it down a second time. Hello, Ashley's Craft Corner 2. Welcome. So sorry I'm late. YouTube and my audio. I'm going to have to do some checking to see what the deal is with YouTube and giving me fits about the audio. So, how was your day? Rosa, Allie, Zippity, welcome. The pinks. Everybody's coming. Yay. Yeah, I tried to go on a couple minutes ago and I had no audio again. YouTube has not been my friend lately. I'm going to have to check to see if there's another update or something. So is everybody hopping over from Juju's page so we can all go through the catalog? Who's been looking through their catalog? Who's made their list and checked it twice and pared it down so it's affordable? Hey, Juju. So Juju and I fixed a Stampin' Up problem today. Everybody's coming over. Awesome. So, yep, Juju and I teamed up. We'll get to that when we get to page 13. So, excuse me. Who's been looking in their catalog? I see Rosa's got a hand up, I think. Juju's got an Alexa. I don't think I've noticed that when I've been on there. I don't have an Alexa. I don't have a Google Dot or Spot or whatever they are. All right, well, Yuta, if you have dual screens, you can go online and find the catalog, but you'll be able to see it all right here. And if you need a catalog, do I have your address? I don't remember if I have your address. I could always mail you one. Oh, wait. You're in Canada, right? I do have your address, but I'm not sending a catalog into Canada. No catalog to Canada. Sorry. All right, so let's get going. I kind of folded this up because I used it on my little thumbnail for the video tonight. So, welcome. No, I can't. Yeah, you're right, Yuta. So, latenightLori.stampinup.net if you want to check out a catalog, if you want to check out all the goodies. There's a lot going on. So, I'm just going to whiz through some of this stuff really quick. Last chance products. I didn't even look to see if new stuff updated today. But it may have, or it may, I don't even know. Yeah, there is a digital catalog, so Yuta can look at all of her Canadian prices through her online one. But the last chance products, doesn't matter if it's now, later, or whenever. My tip to you is when you're looking for something that was part of a bundle, If the items that make up the bundle are also on the last chance list, do the math. You'll probably want to buy them separately because they're usually less expensive separately because they're usually marked down more than 10%. The bundle is already discounted 10%. It does not get discounted again. So there. All right. Who got their berry botanical vellum? I did. When I did my order at just a couple of minutes after midnight Utah time, I only got 4.5 hours of sleep because Juju and I were, I think, racing to see who was going to get their order done first. What's your favorite item from the catalog for anybody who put in their order? Ashley's Craft Corner. Yes, you can absolutely get a catalog. Can you shoot me an email at lorimakari@gmail.com? So it's 2 C's, 1 R. Give me your address and let me know that you would like a catalog. And I would be more than happy to get one for you as long as you're in the United States. Okay. So I'm more than happy to get you a paper catalog. There's just something about having it in your hands. You know, I don't mind scrolling through the electronic stuff. We all do it for, you know, all the online shopping places, but there's just something about having paper in our hands, right? Oh, Rosa. Waterside Sweet. Woohoo. Lucky you. Did we know you were going vacationing? Awesome. So, Berry Botanical. This is vellum. This is the product of the month for May. So it'll go until either supply runs out or until the June product of the month starts. Oh, you live near the ocean. Oh, that's even better. That's even better. See, I have my neighbor's fountain that they have in their backyard that they turn on. Well, no, it's actually in their front yard. Kind of my backyard, the way we are. We're spread out really, really far. They've got 6 acres. I've got just a couple of acres, but they had to build one of those retention ponds when they built their house. They had to put in a retention pond for the drainage. So they've got this really nice fountain. So in the summer, we can have our door open and we can hear all the water. I love it. So anyway, yeah, the vellum. It's 12 sheets, you guys. So if you have a qualifying order, you can add this to your catalog order, or you can add it to your shopping cart for just $5. Read your message above, Allie. Oh, you are welcome. You are so welcome. Well, you're going to have to show us what you make. All right, so vellum, product of the month. Be there or be square. It takes a qualifying order in the United States. That's $75. Allie, I'm glad it made it to you. There are still a couple of more that I haven't gotten out yet. Somebody that's here, I thought I saw somebody here earlier. Zippity. I still have something to get out to you, I'm pretty sure. And somebody else. I think I only have 2 that are not local to me to get out. So anyway, Paper Pumpkin subscription period will end on the 10th. So we are already at May 6th. We're already almost a week into May. It seems the older I get, the faster time goes. So anyway, the Paper Pumpkin kit this month is going to have 9 cards. You get 3 different designs, so 3 cards each. Silver foiling, embellishments, all the things. And that's really cool because everything you need comes in the kit except for basically a block, unless you're just first subscribing. And when you get your first box as a brand new subscriber, you do get a Paper Pumpkin block. It's thinner, but at least you've got something to work with, all right? This paper mixer craft class went on sale today as well. This is a $30, basically, in the United States, it's $30. Basically, it's a master class for Stampin' Up. Stampin' Up is focusing on paper for this one. So designer series paper, these floral flight accent pieces, and these are like, they're heavier than cardstock, but not quite like tagboard, or maybe they are tagboard. I don't know. They're not as heavy as chipboard. So they're focusing on this class in particular is going to be more folds, cards of the more global sizes, so you can adapt them to global designs depending on what your normal card base would be. And you're not going to need like a stamp and cut and emboss machine because you're not going to have to do die cuts. You're not going to have to do embossing. So it's basically for the person who doesn't have all the things. You know, maybe you're a choreographed, you buy kits and that sort of thing. This craft class might be for you. So I ordered mine today. I should check to see if I got my confirming. I don't know. The class is actually on May 21st at 2 o'clock. I already have another class going at that time, that day, because it's my Thoughtful Thursday day. But I will be hosting a watch party later so we can view it on demand for those of you who are local to me who have purchased it. So keep that in mind. And then anybody else besides Ashley who needs a catalog, email me, LoriMcCarry@gmail.com. Let me know you would like a catalog. I would love to send you one. And to help support your crafting addiction, your crafting needs, your crafting wants, the whole bit. And if you're interested in joining in all the fun where you can get some of these things early and have the whole camaraderie of being part of like the demonstrators or discount divas or community coaches or business builders, whatever you want to call yourself, you can join. Right now, Stampin' Up! Through the end of the month is offering a full set of 5 of those brand new ink pads in the in colors as an addition to your normal awesome deal. So if you, hey Vicki, welcome. If you join, you pay $99. There's no shipping. You do still have to pay tax. But you get basically $160 worth of merchandise. And if you don't want the ink pads, okay, I'd be confused. But if you don't want the ink pads, for the $99, you get $126 worth of product. And then you can just add $35 more of product. So when you join, you'll have like a checkbox for whatever option you want. But this is a smoking hot deal. All right. Local people to me, we are already Monday. I've got a private class. Is this right? Yeah. The following Monday, I have my open studio time. That Wednesday, we have our coffee and a card. Thursday, I have my Thoughtful Thursday group. Saturday, I'm going to offer a Scrappy Saturday at the studio. So this will be a scrapbooking kit class where we will do a Stampin' Up! Kit together, but we'll kind of step it up a little bit so that you get a little flashier design than what might just be in the kit. All right. So if you're interested in the Scrappy Studio, I kind of need to know by probably Monday. I might extend that because the kit we're going to do this first time, I already have a few on hand. So it depends on how many more people are coming. But let me know at LoriMcCarry@gmail.com. And then if you are part of the demonstrator core or discount diva or kidnappers, community coaches, business builders, we have an exclusive event coming up. So on August 8th, this is for basically those that are considered demonstrators only. This again is an online interactive crafting class, basically. All right. And we're getting a free stamp set. We're going to get a sneak peek and some early access to some new products that are coming up. Technique training, basically another masterclass for demonstrators. If you need more information about that, just log into your portal. And if you're really interested in stuff like that, but you haven't joined, I can hook you up. All right, here's what everybody's been waiting for, right? The catalog, the catalog. All right, so I'll get this out of the way too. We have May new online exclusive products. So one of the big ones is Silly Bear. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Silly Old Bear, the suite. It's the classic Winnie the Pooh. This is only available in maybe it's only available in the United States. There are some copyright restrictions, not from Stampin' Up, but from Stampin' Up trying to purchase the copyright. And if they wanted to wait until it could go global, it would be like 2059 or something, some ungodly number of years away. So only people, I think, in the United States are able to purchase this. Now, I'm not a big retro Winnie the Pooh person, so I have not purchased this. But it's been really, really popular. So if you're into Winnie the Pooh, awesome for you. There's an embossing folder that's a big size embossing folder that's like a map of the 100-acre woods and all the things. So you can see some of these things we've already played with. This is one we're going to be playing with. Thus my little flotation device that I found at IKEA the other day. I was just walking by and saw this and I thought, I gotta get it, because it goes with my stamp set. I'm funny that way. All right, and then let's see, what else do we have? And then just some single products. You can buy them individually as well. Okay, so online exclusives. So let's get down to the nitty gritty and go through our catalog. We have a different catalog distribution format now. So for those of you who've been with Stampin' Up for quite some time, you are likely aware that we are no longer having an annual catalog, okay? We are going to 3 4-month catalogs. I'm just going to try to move that up a little bit. All right, so 3 4-month catalogs. So we're going to have May, June, July, and August, September, October, November, December, and January, February, March, and April, okay? Oh, you did, Allie. Well, you will definitely have to share some samples. Oh, you'll probably do that on your page. Allie Katz Crafts goes live several times during the week. I think at 8 o'clock. Central Time, but I don't remember what days, Allie. And Juju is live on Craftin on the Back 40, usually every day around 10 p.m. Central Time. And I'm not sure who else might have. Oh, Vicky. Vicky Retro Queen Bee Art. She goes live numerous times during the week, sometimes during the day, sometimes in the early evening. So there's bunches here that have, and I think Ashley's Craft Corner, you have, I think I followed you too, right? Recently. But anyway, so we're not going to do a yearly annual catalog anymore. And that's going to alleviate a whole lot of problems, because with the last annual catalog, well, with all of the annual catalogs, we do an annual catalog in May. And then a couple of months later, the fall to Christmas, basically, mini catalog would come out. So we'd forget all about the annual catalog. Excuse me. And then in January, we'd have another mini catalog that would come out, and we'd have Celebration that would come out. And again, everybody's forgetting about everything in the annual catalog. And the annual catalog had a lot of product in it, had a lot of, helpful hints and those sorts of things. But it was heavier, so it was more to mail. So if we wanted to mail out catalogs, there was a higher price point for postage, all right? So these are more manageable. Does anybody have an annual catalog, an old annual catalog handy? Mine's across the room, and I can certainly grab it. But this is basically, if you count the back cover, because I think they count the cover in the pages. Yeah, so if you count the back cover, it's 88 pages. And the annual catalog, if somebody's got it handy, you can pipe in and say how many pages there are. But this is considerably smaller than the annual catalog. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit and try to stay up here. So you can see on the very front, this is kind of more like a magazine style catalog now. All right. So it's very portable. I can throw it in my purse or my bag or whatever, where the other catalog was not quite as convenient to do so. But on the very front, you can see there's like a mini table of contents. All right. Kind of like a magazine where you've got the top articles. All right. So one of the highlights they're doing is the What's Blooming Boutique Suite collection. Part of why they're featuring this is that that item is going to be, even though the catalogs are only, for 4 months, some products are going to be carried for a whole year. All right. And this Bloom Boutique Suite collection is one of those. It's going to be a year-long product. So it's coming out in May, and they're going to guarantee as best they can that they will carry the products until the next May catalog. Does that make sense? So we'll get to that in a second too. Page 87 just has some highlights on what your demonstrator can do for you, what I could do for you, or some of you that are here that are on my team, what we're all here to do for you. And then page 78 highlights the new in colors. So as we come inside, you're going to see just some little snippets. All right. This is not necessarily new news. You know, our old catalogs had some of these snippets in it too, but they're also featuring, excuse me, they're also featuring some of the newer products. These shimmer brushes. These are like the Cat's Meow. These are Wink of Stella on steroids. That's my opinion. All right. Then we have some hybrid embossing folders. We've got this new hybrid stamping, the basic black ink pad, which we've used here a couple of times. The new in colors, of course, with those awesome magnetic closing cases. I'll highlight those when we get to there in the catalog. And then the impressions dies, which I don't have this one, but there are 2 of them in this catalog, and I did feature one. That's the whatever frames they were called. So this is just some snippets that kind of cover the new things. All right. And this floral spray 3D embossing folder, this is really pretty. I didn't realize it. I saw it today. It's really pretty. So Allie says she goes live every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 Central. Oh, starting next Tuesday. Okay. Got it. You did used to go at 8 o'clock. So you do a 5 to 7 every day as well. So 2 days a week, you're doing 2 videos. Oh, that because you do your paper pumpkin too. So Allie does like 30 cards or 30, yeah, basically 30 different cards with her paper pumpkin kids. All right. Sorry for the cough. You can tell I'm kind of excited about the catalog. All right. So we have a message from Sarah, the CEO for Stampin' Up. There's a table of contents here as well. Okay. So your ways to craft. We've got step by step. All right. Quick and easy. So the step by step is basically going to be your choreograph things, your kits, paper pumpkin things, the scrapbooking workshop kits, that sort of thing. Quick and easy is going to be some of the, I don't think they're calling them mix and match anymore. We'll get to that in a minute. And then creativity your way is all of the standalone products or the suites and the bundles that you can do your own thing for those that are either adventurous as new stampers or experienced stampers. You can make them as simple or as elaborate as you want. Okay. And then you can also shop by category. So you can shop by suites, by bundles, by stamp sets. And I've got all my little tabs on here. I'm not going to leave them there for very long, but I wanted to have them there because I presented at our last team meeting with my upline. Not my team, but my sidelines and my team leader. So I kind of went through this because I had my catalog from OnStage. All right. So you've got, oh, it is mix and match. All right. I couldn't remember if they called it something else. Memory keeping, embellishments, all the things. You can read that if you've got your catalog with you. Our statement of the heart is in here. And then, oh, I should go back to here. These icons will tell you if a product is new, if they're in other languages besides English. If you see a QR code, scan it because there will be extra content there for you that there's not room to put in a catalog. All right. Now, this takes me a little early to the problem that Juju and I, Craftin on the Back 40 and I, solved for Stampin' Up, because we noticed, and I think Allie, you mentioned it last night too, that the QR code wasn't working anymore. And I had done it probably when I was in Onstage. I had scanned the QR code and I got a whole sheet load of sketches, and we'll get to that in a minute. Well, that QR code wasn't working anymore. So I tested a few times. Juju reached out to me this morning, and I reached out to demonstrator support. They were not even aware that that QR code was broken. So I feel like a hero, me and my peeps, because we discovered that that got broken somewhere along the line. And now it's fixed. All right, so it's all fixed. So if you see a QR code, scan it, you'll get extra content. Products here marked with a little green circle. You can probably see it better on yours. What time did you try, Vicki? Because it was fixed, I'd say by mid-afternoon. So I think around 3 o'clock my time. Juju, is that maybe when I emailed you? I think it might have been mid-afternoon my time. So I'm Central Time. And Vicki, you're at Pacific Time, right? So maybe around noon or 1 o'clock by you, it should have been fixed. So if you tried it this morning, it probably didn't work, but it should be working now. Okay. So this green circle indicates it's a suite of products. This hydrangea hue, so this has got to be Peaceful Pine. I should probably use the right colors, not just green, right? This hydrangea hue indicates that it's a bundle. Okay. Stampin' Up has got a blog. There's even junk journaling stuff. And I think it's at the blog page. I don't remember, but I found it. And there are some people at Stampin' Up that are really big into junk journaling. Who knew? Not me. After your show, really? Does somebody else want to give it a try? Page 13 is that QR code, because I did try it a couple of times later in the day and it was working. So Vicki, yes, no, those card sketches, that's what I'm talking about on page 13 from that QR code. If you can't access it, shoot me an email, let me know you need the sketch list, and I'll email it to you. So yeah, shoot me an email that you want the sketch, the boatload of sketches, and I'll get it to you. But it's available to everybody. So I don't charge for it. Stampin' Up gives it to me for free. You know, I can't charge you for something that Stampin' Up doesn't give me. Now, or that I can't charge you for something that Stampin' Up gives me for free. You know, that's not right. That's a resource I make available to me to share with my customers as I see fit. Now, we are going to be doing a sketch challenge, and we need to come up with a hashtag for our sketch challenge. So those of you who were here Sunday night, the 3rd, we did the first sketch. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm getting derailed here. But we're gonna do a weekly challenge every Sunday. I'm gonna post whatever sketch I've picked for the week. I'll do a sample on Sunday, and then you'll have a week to post your version of the sketch using whatever it is you want to use. And then I will compile all of the names, and once a month I will give a gift for whoever's posted. I'd love to do it every week, but I just don't think I would be able to keep up with every week. So at least once a month we'll do. When you go to that page, Vicki, in that first paragraph, there's a link that gets, I'll show you in just a second, because I've got it in here. When we get to 13, I'll show you what it looks like. All right. So let's keep moving on. So for those of you We'll get back to the challenge in a minute too, but I'm excited. It's going to be fun. And Juju's already got a whole journal plan going because she's so creative. It's like, all right, you go, girl. All right, so Stampin' Up! Does have an angel policy. If you are not aware of this, you need to be aware of this, whether you're a demonstrator or not. It doesn't matter. If you make cards using any of the Stampin' Up! Images, so papers, stamp sets, those sorts of things, ephemera pieces, you have to disclose that those images are copyrighted by Stampin' Up! All right? Whew, you're ready, Juju. You're awesome. All right, so there are stamp sets. We've talked about this kind of recently too, and I hope I remember to order mine. But they have stamp sets that they release from time to time that have that copyright Stampin' Up! On it. Okay, if you don't want to purchase the stamp set, I mean, I suppose that's an option, of course, but then you somehow need to either handwrite it on the back of your card or project, type it, on a sticker and put it on there. You have to disclose that it's a copyrighted image. And part of that angel policy is because there are so many counterfeit products out there. And Stampin' Up's trying to protect not only them, but also us as demonstrators from these companies that are copying this stuff, undercutting the prices, doing poor quality product. And then it makes all of us that are doing it on the up and up look bad. So, places like, well, I don't want to bash somebody, but there are plenty of companies out there that are taking things and forfeiting them or counterfeiting them. And that's also why Stampin' Up! Will change the proportions of images so that it's easier to tell if it's a counterfeit or not. Because a lot of times these companies, when they steal the intellectual property, they don't take the time to figure out if it's at 100% or not. So that's all part of that intellectual property security stuff. All right. Everybody should know also that when you place an order, as long as it's $20 or more, you earn Stampin' Rewards as long as you've created an account with Stampin' Up. Certainly indicate who your demonstrator is that you've picked. But then also you need to opt in for Stampin' Rewards. It's one of those things where, you go to the gas station or the grocery store. Oh, are you a rewards member? Well, no. How do I do it? Well, here you have to sign up. Okay, we can't just do it. You have to opt in. So that's like some kind of marketing requirement. There's a lot of laws, kind of like the spam marketing and all of that. You have to say that you want them. Okay. All right. Product of the month is highlighted here. StampinUp.com, just all the products. So this is kind of like your advertisement. And part of why we're here even online is that doing it with other people is fun, whether we're virtual or in person. Having your peeps is important. All right. Stampin' Up! Does make a difference things. Shelly, who is the co-founder of Stampin' Up!, she and her sister actually created the company back in let me think, 1981, I think, is when they started. Is that right? That sounds about right. Because they're going to be celebrating 40 years very soon. Okay. Yeah, 2028. So it would be 1981. I don't know. Math is hard right now. Anyway, Paper Pumpkin, Shelly, the whole bit. Now we're getting into the step-by-step, quick and easy stuff. So on page 8, we know that these are all the choreographed things. All right. So these are kits. So you will see that lesser expensive kits, like this one is $14, there's no stamping. So you're not going to get an ink spot. You're not going to get a block. You're not going to get a stamp set. All right. This one is $24. You're going to get all of the things you need to make in all, all the cards or whatever. You're going to get the block. You're going to get the stamp set. You're going to get the ink spot. Okay. And then there are also scrapbooking workshop kits. All right. Now, here are some of the must-haves. So some basic items you might want to work with. The mix and match. So these are like ephemera packs, but I think they are all self-adhesive now. All right. Some cute little stamp sets, embellishments. All right. And it gives you the pages. Embellishments are all on page 72. But this goes with your quick and easy stuff. All right. Now, along with quick and easy, the mix and match, we're highlighting, some of the products. You'll see page numbers. So if you want to do like labels and tags, that's here. All right. Scrapbooking, those pieces will work with scrapbooking. You've got your in colors, your little stamp and spots, punch bundle with just some simple sentiments, like this one is get well soon. And then down on the bottom, this is page 13 where I was talking about this QR code. Now you get a few samples here. So you've got 7 samples on the bottom of here, but if you scan this, you're going to get even more. So this is what that sheet looks like. Okay. Now I have gone through and I've numbered each of mine. So there's 10 in a row for the cards. So there are 50 sketches for cards. We did sketch 36 or a rendition thereof on May 3rd. Okay. So what I want folks to think about here is, what hashtag are we going to use when you've done the challenge? A couple that I kind of came up on quick was, the first one was Team Lori Collabs, because that's what Zippity came up with. Team Lori Collabs, because we were talking about TLC for tender loving care or tender loving crafting. So Team Lori Collabs. And if we do times 50, x 50. Oh, I'm glad, Vicki. Good. That'll be our 50 card templates. Now there's also 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28 tag templates and 8 scrapbooking templates. All right. And the scrapbooking templates you could try to convert to card templates as well if there's nothing here that kind of matches. All right. So I also thought about TLC 50 sketch challenge, but come up with something catchy, easy to remember, and we have to make sure that it's not taken by somebody else. All right. So we're going to go with that. And then I will be keeping track of when I've released a sketch. So they're not necessarily going to be done in order. So on Sunday, we did sketch 36. So I've got the date here that I've posted it as May 3rd and who has responded in that week. And I'll list everybody's names. Hopefully I'll run out of room and I'll have to do it on my computer because I've got the spreadsheet saved on there. Could I join in with vintage sets, or does it have to be? No, I don't care what it is. This is just using the sketch to do whatever you create with the sketch. Old product, new product, Stampin' Up, not Stampin' Up. This is a crafting challenge, so have at it. Okay? So, I did a hand-drawn enlargement of the sketch for 36. I'll try to make some prettier ones. I just didn't have time. And then if you're having a hard time using that QR code, you can also get to it from the website. So if on the main web page up in the left-hand corner, there's a button or a link that says shop, and then you go down to ways to craft. And then when the ways to craft page comes up, there's this link here. So the QR code gets you right to the Ways to Craft page. You still have to go in and click the free layout. All right. So there's that. All right. So let me highlight just a few other things. Do we want to go page by page and point out some of the cool things? Or should I just highlight things with my tabs? Because I might just, I was going through it again today, and I've already placed a few orders, and I have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things already, and I just placed an order this, you know, awesome. I'm with you, Juju. Great. I just don't want to bore people. So I have another half a dozen items for sure that I'm going to put on another order. So it's not cheap to share all of my crafting ideas with you guys because I got to buy all the things. But I love sharing. So when I get the online orders, that helps me to get product that I can make more things. So here we are, creativity your way. All right. So the first section we went to was pretty short. That's step by step. That was all the choreographed things. Then we went to the quick and easy that had, you know, the mix and match pieces and some basic papers and that sort of thing. A punch is pretty easy for quick and easy things. And now we're getting into the creativity your way. All right. So this is the suites, the bundles, the stamp sets, all the things. All right. For those of you that want to have all the things for something. Okay. So we played with some of these products, but you can see this is kind of like a mini table of contents here. So all of these things here that have the N, those are all new. All right. So they've not been in a catalog before. These are all new products. Okay. And it'll tell you what page you can find the suite stuff on. Okay. Now, here is my list from Stampin' Up about all of the things that are going to have year-long availability. They just gave us a list that's easy for demonstrators to work with. There's going to be one suite that'll last for a year. This is the suite that they have selected, which is why I'm pretty sure that it's featured on the cover. All right. It may just be coincidental, but I think it was intentional. All right. So this whole suite will be available for a year, but something that's different from our past catalogs is it doesn't give you all of the prices and everything right here. Okay. So it gives you the suite. If you want the butterflies, go to page 72. If you want the paper, you're going to go to page 64. Okay. If you want the bundle, you're going to go to page 38. This is like a mega suite. It's got 2 bundles that make up this suite. So both of those bundles are on page 38. It does indicate that if you buy just the bundles, you're going to save 10%. Buying the whole suite does not reduce the price any more than if you bought bundle, item, 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 item. Okay. So the math should come out with the bundle discount, but there's not like a group discount for like a quantity discount. All right. It's just easier to order because you can use one number instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 or 6 different numbers. All right. The other nice thing here is that we've got some samples, of course. That's how it was in the old catalog. And here was, those of you who were here when I made this one, this was the second box I made, or was it? This might have been the first one. But the cakes that I put in here were they were Easter ones. Like, I don't know what they were. Little Debbie's or something. I don't know. Well, they came in a twin pack. Well, I could only fit one here, so I took one for the team and I had to eat one of them. Well, because I didn't give this away and I didn't want that open package to get stale, I took another one for the team and I ate the other one about a week ago. Just saying. So the other nice thing about the catalog or these suites is it will list all of the colors that are featured in that suite. All right. So you know right away, okay, here's a suite. Oh, I do not have any crisp cantaloupe cardstock. Maybe I want to order that. Or maybe I want to order the variety pack where there's a few sheets of each. I know I'm such a team player. But the last few days I've been really good about not having very much sugar. It's just been getting ridiculous. When we were on our trip, we had specialty desserts. I think we were allotted 2 a day. We didn't even do 1 a day because when we got 1, we split it because they were so big and they were so sweet. But yeah, I'm trying to cut back on my sugar. All right, so next we have, well, this is just telling you again, if you want just the bundle, this is Heirloom Boutique rather. Again, if you want the whole suite, here's a single number for you. If you want the other items, this now is listing, like this doesn't have the prices on these, but this smaller one does. It has the cardstock listing the price and the page and the number, all right? So these are extra components that coordinate with this scrapbooking workshop, all right? So that's why there's more information listed here, because this suite basically is a scrapbooking workshop kit, and then these are things that coordinate with it that don't come in the kit, okay? So, I guess I can leave these on here. So some of these visuals, some of these coordinating items used to be much bigger in the other catalog, or at least significantly bigger. They're using smaller icons so they can feature more of the main product, if that makes sense. All right. I don't remember if I ordered this one. I ordered a couple of them. I really had to put on the brakes because there were so many things that I wanted that I didn't get. So I may have ordered this. I don't remember. There were so many things. But that's really cute. I mean, you've got almost like a patchwork quilt sort of thing here. If you like the pastels, that's more of what this is. And actually the designer series paper, these are exclusive to the kit usually. There might be 1 or 2 patterns that are in the paper that coordinates, but there are some exclusive pieces, and I'm thinking that quilted piece might be exclusive. All right, Waterside Retreat. I have this suite. Remember these embellishments? These you can flip over. There is not a right and a wrong side. So I thought that was pretty cool. And it tells you again where the trinkets are. Those are on page 72. The paper is in the paper section. So I've got all mine listed: bundles, stamp sets, dies, paper. I thought I had one that said embellishments. I've been through this a few times. Who knows? It might be there somewhere, or it might have come off. Okay. But this is a really fun suite if you like things nautical, and I do. I really do. And I love the colors on here. In fact, this is not. Nope, this is not the same. This is a similar color scheme to the paper that we were using last night that's got this checkerboard stuff on it. So we may get to this card tomorrow because it's already 1 a.m. here. All right, Valley in Bloom. This is a really pretty embossing folder. I didn't realize how pretty it was. And I don't know that you can see very well from my image here, but there's like a big flower in the middle. There's some foliage pieces, and then there's like some of the lily of the valley buckets, or I don't even know what you want to call them. Whatever those flowers are, whatever shape they are, like hats or whatever. All right. This is the, it's that Luxe white paper. Remember there were 3 patterns. One had the lily of the valley. And I think I did blending brush over it, and you could see how part of it was like a resist emboss technique, but it's not raised. And then there's some foliage in a geometric kind of pattern. And then there's like some woven basket hash mark kind of design. And again, here we've got the colors listed down here. Very tropical to me, this color combination. Don't you think? But if you like Lily of the Valley, this would be the thing for you. Oh, and here it's even showing you the resist if you add ink blending on there at the bottom of page 23. So I was just talking about that, and you can tell I've looked through this so many times, but I miss things. Even though I've looked at it, you miss them. And I even think on these bells, that's what they are, the bells. I think it looks like they've done some ink blending on the tops of those bells too for some extra texture. Very cool. There's a cool die. There's a die in here that makes this strangely abstract geometric pattern that's pretty cool. And I actually was going to pick some Lily of the Valley that I found is still coming up on the side of my house. I thought it was all gone. It's really hard to get rid of. All right, here's another workshop kit. Now, if you like the elements of the workshop itself, but you're not a scrapbooker, you can get some of the separate elements. The designer series paper comes with a sticker sheet, so that would be like self-adhesive ephemera pieces. So you can certainly use those on cards, and you can certainly modify some of these layouts to be cards or journal pages. Okay, but if you're not a scrapbooker, you know, maybe this just doesn't interest you, but I think there's a lot of the elements in these that even if I might not like the page necessarily, I envision what I could do differently with it. Okay, I may not always do a scrapbook page just like it's shown because I'm a rebel that way. But I like these, the colors too. I like the Blackberry Bliss with some of these shades of greens as they morph into blue. I think it's just a really interesting color combination, one that I may not have thought of. And when we're talking about color combinations, I've talked about in the past color coaches, and I didn't put mine on here yet. Let me get an old ink pad because I was going to do that together. So here's one of my older ink pads. And I print these in a reduced format so that they fit my ink pads, but I print them on a full size adhesive sheet like that I got at the office supply store. And then I just trim them down to size. So when I need color inspiration, I can just go, I've got early espresso. I think maybe I want to use that color. Look at the back, and these are all of the colors that would coordinate with early espresso to make a neat combination that I would probably not have thought of. You need to hook up with these junk journals at Stampin' Up. Yes, you do. I will, if tool around the blog site a little bit, and I will try to find it again one of these days when I'm not focused and I'm like my mind is bouncing all over. I will try to find them as well, because as soon as I saw that, I think it was on the blog, I'm like, oh, there's a category for junk journaling. Who knew? Hey Roz, welcome. Sorry I missed that you were there. Didn't do that on purpose. We're just tooling through the catalog. And this is, so basically we just have 2 pages now for each suite, if you will. All right. So this is a Life in Bloom. So this is still the Valley in Bloom. And this is a scrapbooking workshop kit that coordinates with the suite. Okay. So just like the Bloom Boutique, and then we've got the scrapbooking workshop that's the Heirloom Boutique. It coordinates with that suite. All right. So you're seeing the pattern here. Now this Scenic Coast Suite, I think is awesome. I showed you, I received this paper at Onstage as my Prize Patrol item, and it's iridescent foil. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. You can see I put my little Stampin' Up bookmark on here. These are from Onstage last year. Aren't those cool? I might have a couple extras. Those might be one of the little giveaways for our challenge. We'll see. I got all kinds of cool little stuff. But anyway, this die set, the Stampin' die set are, I think, amazing. Just so quick and easy to make such an elevated looking card. Pretty cool. Oh, Allie, you got that one too. I love that one. All right. And again, here's our palette of colors. So this is, you know, you've got the strawberry slush and you've got crushed curry and then the blues and the purple hues. Really, really pretty. Okay. And we've got Ordinary Life. Now, just as a reminder, this icon up here, we know that it's new product. If you want the whole suite, you see these things and you want all the things, there's one number for all the things. Stampin' Up started doing that, I don't know, a while ago, because enough of us, I think, commented that, you know, why do I have to pick, you know, 6 different numbers to get all the things for the one suite? Give me one number, right? Ooh, Allie, Valley of the Lily of the Valley too. Well, I'm expecting to see a lot of cool stuff. All right. This beautiful Ordinary Life paper is very colorful on one side, and then on the back side, it's all black and white. So very versatile. Very, very versatile. And then this is styled in such a way that they're using a lot of the mix and match pieces. Oh, that's it. It's mix and match now, and it used to be the Memories and More cards. Now they're doing mix and match. That's right. So these elements here, Vicki, you ought to love these. So they come on hard cards like this, but I punched out one whole package. These came with something that I did at Onstage. I think it was the pay for play thing. But we've got some butterflies, and you can tell this is not cardstock. This is thicker than cardstock. And all of these little pieces can come out of there if you want them to. Can you see that? You can't really, the light's not showing up too good. But these are all little cutout pieces. So you can take your, take your pick tool, and all of these will come out. In fact, let's just play. I'm trying to see which, this is my kind of sharp one, but so these are really pretty. And I could get my little brush, but sometimes this just works better. So you can see how pretty these are going to be, or if you wanted to leave them in there, you know, certainly that's your option. But look at how pretty those are. See? So that's going to be gorgeous. And you could use, you know, some multicolored paper behind there. You could use solid color paper, but they're really pretty. So you've got the butterflies. You've got butterflies of different sizes. You've got hearts. You've got foliage. You've got flowers. Just a bunch of different elements in there. And that's what they've used here. I lost my cap. There it is. All right, so it says you get one, so you get one sheet, but it's filled with all the little pieces. And I didn't really count to see how many different element shapes were in there. I should do that and report back, I suppose. One of these days, I'll do that. When I'm not busy crafting, shopping, thinking about crafting, thinking about what I want on my list, all those things. So, really pretty though. This is just a very casual, playful scrapbook layout, or a suite rather, and then here's the scrapbooking workshop kit. So again, you've got the suite, then you've got the coordinating scrapbooking stuff. So you can pair them together. Now you can see I didn't put any other notes. My notes are coming up for some other things, but these are all really pretty. Now some of these I did not get because, you know, some of these suites are a little more expensive. The scrapbooking kits are, I think, pretty reasonably priced because you get all the stuff in there. You just have to supply your inks, your adhesives, and like your snips and your trimmer, okay? But the new kits, they've redesigned some of these kits. So you know when I've done some of the scrapbooking kits where I've got all of the instructions, pages and pages of instructions that have the cutting layouts on them? Since these scrapbooking kits are going global now and there are some language issues so that they don't have to print everything in multiple languages, Stampin' Up! Is going to one-sided papers, and then on the back side you have all of the cutting layouts. So you won't have the cutting layouts in instructions, they'll be right on the paper. So each piece is already going to be labeled, you know, 1A or 1B. And so if it's labeled 1A, you know it goes with the first spread. And if it's A, that's the first piece that's going to get glued down. If it's B, it's the second piece that's going to be glued down. That's how it's been explained to me. So you'll still have the layout instructions. You're just not going to get cutting instructions on a separate piece of paper. It's going to be right on all of the pieces. All right. And I believe that starts with all of these new kits. I'm pretty sure. If these are still the old way, then it's coming maybe with the July release. All right. But it's coming. Okay. Velvet Meadow. Now, this paper, I didn't get to touch any of it at Onstage. I don't remember them having it out, but this is all velvet or flocked paper. So it's not like it's a solid piece of flocking. It's the highlights are flocked. All right, so if you're looking at your catalog on page 32, for this sheet here, you can see all of the flowers and foliage are flocked, but you still have, I don't know if that's, let's see, Peaceful Pine or Cloud Cover in the back. All right, here you've got the whites of the flowers that are flocked. Here you've got the whites of the flowers that are flocked. Okay. So Roz, yes, the scrapbook workshops are awesome. I've gotten several of them now, and I really enjoy them because I don't have to think about my layouts, but it sure inspires me to come up with some layouts that I would not have, that would not have been my skill set before last year. So yeah, they're pretty cool. And I do think they're reasonably priced because for me, if I'm trying to do a couple of scrapbook layouts, I'm going to end up going to several stores looking for, you know, this piece of paper, that piece of paper. No, that color's not quite right. These, you know, everything's color coordinated. So I think that's pretty cool. But these papers are really pretty with all of that flocking on there. I think I may not get the whole suite, but I may very likely get the papers just to play with them because I really like texture. There are so many pretty things, Yuta. Get some sleep. Thanks for popping in. And I look forward to seeing you with the challenge. All right, Moonlit Flora. We played with this a bit because this was part of my after hours pay for play at Onstage. And we paid for our products and all of the things that we needed, but we had it much earlier than everybody else. So when was Onstage? March. So I had this stuff, you know, some of the elements of it for quite some time. So pretty though. And like these little flowers here on page 35, if you were not here when I was doing these cards, there are some little die elements that look like bow ties and mustaches maybe. They actually crisscross to make the flowers. That's how they were designed. But this is really pretty too. All right. What else did I miss here? Did I miss anything? No, we were on that page. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. All right. Here we've got another flag. Now this is where we're starting the bundles. All right. And I'm just going to move this to the outside, I think. Stampin' Up! Used to make tabs for us to put, well, one year, I guess they made tabs, 1 or 2 catalogs. They made tabs where we could put them on our categories. But you can see there's some color coding up here on the edges of the pages. And when you line up the pages, they used to line up in different orders. So we've got sweets. And now we're getting into the bundles. So this is all the sweets are the greenish. And the bundles now are going to be a darker green. Okay. Where did my bundles go? All right, but these will help you. Stamp sets are yellow. So if you're just paging through, we've got, I don't know, crisp cantaloupe probably. So there's different color codes there. So if you're a color coded person, you'll be able to figure that out. All right, so here we are with the bundles. All right, again, you've got the N where it's new. They tell you what the full price would be, and they tell you what the reduced price is. All right, so you get a 10% discount when you buy them as a bundle. Something to keep in mind is when a bundle is retiring, like at the end of a catalog, a lot of times a bundle will retire, but not the products. All right, so hear me out. So you may have 2 products, your stamp set and your dies, that are part of a bundle. If they retire the bundle, it just means they're separating them so that you don't get the discount anymore by buying them together, because they're making room for new bundles. Okay, so just because a bundle might get on the last chance list doesn't mean that the products that make up the bundle are going on the last chance list. So when you see a bundle only on the last chance list, if that's one that you're looking for, you might want to get it when it's discounted at that 10%, because once that last chance list is refreshed, then it will no longer be available at a 10% discount buying them together. Does that make sense? And I just now saw this sentiment on here. This Opulent Oasis bundle is not one that I was going to get. I did use this die. This is the Impressions die. And you can see here, if you want this die that's the Impressions or this one. So this is an Impressions, and I should highlight that. This is an Impressions die. And this is an Impressions die. And the way you can tell it's an Impressions die in the catalog or on the packaging, let me see if I can find my frames. They might be buried, because it'll show up better if I can show you. What's this called? Phrases and frames. All right, it's somewhere not right by me. We used them not too long ago, and I'm sure I just moved them. So anyway, good night, Rosa. Sleep well. All right, so with these Impressions dies, the way you can tell they're an Impressions die is normally on a die set, the dies are all shaded. So if you see something that's not darkly shaded, if there are some gaps in the image, that means it's an Impressions die. So all of our dies will not work with the Impressions plate, but if you get these Impressions dies, this is like 2-step stamping, only different. It's 2-step cutting and embossing. All right, so you cut once, you emboss once. That's what these do. All right, so you get like a hybrid embossing folder that does everything all at once. You need the embossing folder and the dies. This is doing it with just the dies. All right, but you won't get the same impression without that Impressions plate, which is that very flexible, like silicone kind of plate. And this, I didn't scan this, but it should maybe give a demonstration on how to mist your paper and how to run this through. I'll have to do that later. I missed that one. I didn't do that one. Okay. So all of these bundles, it'll tell you if it's a new item. It'll tell you if it's, well, new here also, but it'll tell you if it's part of a suite. So the stamp set is on page 51. So if you just want the stamp set and you want pricing information, go to page 51. If you just want the dies, go to page 58. If you want the bundle, you can stay right here and use this number. All right, so let's go to page 51. And you're gonna see, we were looking at the Lily of the Valley. So here's the Lily of the Valley, just the stamp set. But it tells you also it's part of a suite, it's part of a bundle. What it doesn't tell you, and we've kind of shared this back, you know, some of the demonstrators and leaders have shared it back to Stampin' Up! That it would be nice if there was a backward reference as well. So we've got here with a forward reference, but we don't have here going backwards to tell us what page the suite is on or what page the bundle is on. You have to know where your bundles start and where your suites start. Does that make sense? I'm sure it does. Unless it's too late for anybody's cognitive abilities and we're just in for the ride. Okay. So suite, and this is just my same kind of note here. So this suite, I went back and found that it's on page 18. So what I may do for myself is go through these and find out what page the suite is on, so that, you know, if my customers ask, if you're a demonstrator, you might want to go through the trouble. If there's a suite, let's find out what suite, what page the Blossoms is. So the Bloom Boutique. So that's part of the Scallop Blooms. So I could say on here, the suite is on page 16. Okay, because it doesn't give me the backward reference. All right, now I can see here on this page, I've got all these new symbols, and you can see most of the things in this catalog are new, which is incredible. But there's still some things that are not new, that carried over. So this does not have that new symbol. Okay. So this Gears and Textures is a bundle that carried over from a previous catalog or from an online exclusive. All right. And then this one in particular, this Balloon Festoon bundle, this is one of those products that Stampin' Up! Has said that they are going to carry for a year-long run. Okay. So they are doing their best to guarantee that this product will be available like through next April. It doesn't say that in the catalog. Demonstrators have that list. All right, so I'm letting you know, if you want to mark your catalog, this is a one-year item. This Bloom Boutique is a year-long availability item, and then we'll get to the Words and Wishes. This is also a year-long availability item, okay? So I'm looking at all these symbols, and I haven't really looked at things that I have. So I have these. I've got the Fern and Flora. I have this. I didn't get the Lily of the Valley because I'm not much of a Lily of the Valley fan. I don't have this Opulent Oasis bundle either. But it was fun to work with. We did this at my team leaders meeting where we do a swap. One of the gals did that for her swap. All right. So you can see how here some of these items may coordinate with the suite, or they're making a home decor item. Don't forget to look at some of your samples, and you'll see when I do some of my videos, I'm using some of these samples to play with. All right, so again, we've got these are just the bundles. So if you want the stamps and the dies, this is where they're going to be. We got a lot of new things still. This Words of Beauty is a carryover. The Banner Sayings bundle is a carryover. I showed this one the other night when I was doing the scrapbooking layout because I wanted this to be like a file folder tab on a pocket insert. The Fern and Flora, is that what it is? Ferns and Flora. Where is it? Well, I'm looking at the paper. So, oh, it's matched with this punch. I saw that paper and I love that paper. All right. The Party Banner Bundle or the Party Dies Bundle is still available. So those huge letters, the big banners, those are still available. These other things are new. Nature Symphony is still available. I love this set. We've done this. We've used this one quite a lot. And I did not get this stamp set. I got the punch, but I didn't get the stamp set. I'm not sure if I want to get the stamp set or not. I don't know. All right. Stampin' Positioner tool. We have used this quite a few times. I'll be using it more. This is a new tool that Stampin' Up has. If you didn't notice, there are replacement magnets available or additional magnets available online. All right. It's not noted in the catalog. I did not see anything for additional plates. So I'm probably going to put a request in to see if they're going to do additional plates. So any other demonstrators, if you go to your suggestion box, if you want to see additional plates, leave a suggestion. All right. All right, so this is what Stampin' Up is calling an ad page, like an advertisement page. So it's for a new product or, you know, something they want to feature that they think is very versatile with a lot of different things. This is a perfect thing to be in this catalog because this is a new tool. There's this QR code here. The catalog tells you you can scan that to watch them demonstrate the Stampin' Positioner tool. All right. So if you haven't seen it live here, you can see it there. All right. So now we're in the section of just stamp sets, and you can see my catalog is coming apart already. I have been through this a few times. So let's just try to tape this down before it gets any worse. All right, so now we're in the stamp sets. Again, we can see if something's new. We can see if it's part of a bundle. We don't get the backtracking to see what page that bundle is on, although we did just see this one here. So page 42, I can do page 42 for that bundle. All right. Sending salutations. Do I have that one? So I haven't gone through my catalog very well yet, but when I have items that I've purchased, my old system was I will put a dot by the item or by the order number somewhere consistently in my catalog, and then I mark my index as well. That way I'm less likely to order something multiple times. It doesn't mean I won't order it multiple times because sometimes I just really like something and I can't find it and I didn't remember that I ordered it, so I order it again. But it helps me to be less likely to double order. And one time I almost triple ordered something. That was kind of crazy. That page there. We should be good. All right. So that's how I mark my books. I haven't done this one yet. All right. So when we get to the stamp sets, you will see new samples that weren't like in the suite or the bundle. The samples that are here down the middle of the page are going to be new options for you. All right. So if you see a suite and you don't like any of the samples that are on that display page, you can go to the bundle page and you'll find some samples there, one or however many samples they give you. If you don't like that sample, you can come here and get another sample. All right. Just food for thought. You can also get your samples online. So if you look up a product in the store and then, you know, click into it in the left-hand column, you'll see all the different icons or the images that you can scroll through. That'll give you samples. And a lot of times that's what I will use for inspiration for the things that I share with all of you. All right. I already talked about this one where they reduce the sizes because it's harder for these other companies to counterfeit their products. So that's something, just point of interest, I guess. Not that as, you know, a customer you might be necessarily interested, but especially as a demonstrator, if people ask, well, why can't they make the pictures bigger? Well, that's why. And that's why sometimes too, on the front of a stamp set, it might not be the exact same size either. They used to put on the fronts if it was reduced to 85%. They don't put that in there anymore, but I think more of the designs on the packaging are true size. So there's that. Now, the other thing here too to be aware of is that when you're looking at a stamp set, this little key down here tells you what's this mean. All right. So this, just like the dies I've shown you before, the stamp sets also, this tells you how many different stamps you have. All right. So not necessarily how many images, because these feet are obviously going to be on one stamp. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. That way you know if you're missing something, or, you know, if let's say you see something and it's got like 23 stamps, you know, or this one was 16, maybe you don't want something that putsy. You know, if there's a lot of two-step stamping and that's not your thing, you might want to avoid that set then. So it's something good to see, to be aware of when you go to purchase something. I'm pretty sure I ordered this balloon festoon because that just looks really cute. And I saw a couple of the samples that Stampin' Up! Had done that were really cute. So we've got some little, where did I get hung up here? Little idea for a treat holder with like a tag topper. How cute is that? I think I ordered this, but I'm not sure, because I just think these little images are really cute. Hopefully they'll be as cute when I get it, but I'm pretty sure I got that one. I have this one already. You can see this is not a new product. This isn't either, but I think I missed it on the last catalog. This is a new product that looks pretty cool. I saw it demonstrated today, or yes, I think today. And it leaves a nice little place for a sentiment, which I thought was pretty cool. So this is like a background stamp. You would definitely want to use the Stampin' Positioner or a similar tool to do this one, because when it's the bigger the stamp, the harder it is to get a good image, right? Words and wishes. I think I might have, I added that to my shopping list because there's a lot of fun little sayings on here. To a friend worth celebrating. Hope your birthday is delightful. A lot of fun stuff on there. This one has dies. It's part of a bundle also. So there's dies to cut out this just because, which is pretty cool. It's an unusual font though. I haven't used it as much as I thought I would. Probably because of the font, but I think I need to pull it out and use it a little bit more now. Maybe copy some of these designs that are here. Case them, if you will. Is there anything that stands out to anybody else that you've gotten that you were just super in love with? Now these samples I think are really cute, but this flower is just, to me, it seems just a little odd. It doesn't, and maybe it looks better in person because it does look like there's like a distinctive sort of design on it. But I do love this. I love the scripted fonts when they match it with or pair it with the blocks, the block lettering. I don't know why, but that's so cool. Now, I saw this the other day too, and I thought, well, that is really similar to something I already have. The virtual album retreat that we had an alphabet like this, but it was all capital letters. And this is all the lowercase letters. So I may need to get this. I didn't get it before. This is a returning item. It's not new, but I didn't get it. We played with this a little bit. I love the font on here. Again, that's that scripted font with the block letters. And we're getting to a few other notes eventually. This Nature Symphony has been pretty beautiful. Oh, and I think I ordered the Olive Flutter. I think. And that's a punch to do the trifecta of butterflies, I'm pretty sure. Let's go back and find it. Olive Flutter. Yep, it's a punch. So those butterflies are a punch. So that having a punch makes, oh, thanks, Juju. Having a punch, if you're going to do classes, like in-person classes, punching is a lot of times safer than having your Stampin' Cut and emboss machine, just because if you've got newer people that don't know how to use your dies and the plates, having a punch is less likely to ruin your equipment or your tools. All right, so this Crafted with Care is the Angel Policy set. So it's really versatile. But you've got the copyright Stampin' Up here and a smaller copyright Stampin' Up there. But Happy Mail, Good Vibes, Sunshine, enjoy this inky creation. A nice little like tab piece. Inked with Love as like a seal. I love this little envelope. Very cute. You ordered it. Good for you. But it's like, I want to remind everybody, I've got this page flat, folded over for anybody that makes things and sells them. So if I do a box and I sell it at a craft fair or something, I have that Stampin' Up, that image copyright stamp, either on the back of the box or on the bottom of the box, somewhere inconspicuous, so it doesn't, oh, hello, Misos Nisos? Miso is how I'm looking at that. Did I say that right? Welcome. So yeah, I'll put them somewhere on there so it's just not obnoxious. But then I'm complying with Stampin' Up's policy. And that way, when you've got that copyright image on there, it's intellectual property that people aren't supposed to copy. Doesn't mean they're not going to. But we, as demonstrators, and you can use the old one, Allie. It doesn't have to be a new one. They look the same, all right, just so long as it's on there. I sometimes just like the newer sets to change it up a little bit. Look up. I'm looking up. What am I looking at here? Did I freeze? No, I'm moving. Okay. So Miso is here or Miso is leaving? I think it's hello. And is it Miso? Did I pronounce that right? The Miso comment. I see hello. Me too that you ordered it. So Miso, you ordered it or you have it? Hopefully I caught everything. Was there something further up than that? If I scroll through my comments, I might not see the newer ones. All right, we'll keep an eye on that. All right, so that one's a good one to have. Here's another background leaf or a background stamp. That one's pretty. There was a similar one to this not too long ago. This one I have. I don't think we've used it yet, have we? I don't think we've used it yet. I got this as a prize patrol at Onstage. So I got that as like a gift. But this is going to be a really cool one to work with. You know, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to, where's good? Or a very happy birthday to you, friend. Cute. And the font is very formal scripted, like what I learned in grade school, right? How about you guys? Again, here we have some new samples from what we had before from, you know, the bundle or the suite. Those are some new samples for us. This one's pretty cute too. Now this one is designed basically for the scrapbooking kits, but they had some really cute samples that were cards. So like this ampersand sign is, I mean, it's pretty big compared to some of these others. I think that would make a really cute card. And this is a beautiful life. I think that, you know, you can do like a wedding card or anniversary card or something and use that stamp. I like this one too, the font. It says noteworthy. Very cool. All right, as we continue on here, thanks, man. So this is more like the more masculine cards you need to do. I don't know if I would have anybody to use this for, but a lot of people who have, you know, younger guys around. Thanks, bro. Bruh. You're old, man. That's rough, man. That'll be kind of fun. This Untouched Landscapes. I think this would be one that, Vicky, if you're still here, I could see you doing something with this with some of your painting and adding some mixed media things on there. You're debating on this one. I could actually see you doing something with it because you got so many men in your life. I could see you, and you've got your sons are young. I could see you doing something with that one. Sorry, dude, that's rough. And that, I wonder if that goes with that. It must. With that rounded rectangle punch bundle that had the stamp set that I didn't get yet. See, Vicky, I think that I could see you doing something fancy with that to step that one up. It looks like they've got a bunch of these flower embellishments here, but that tissue stuff you were doing today, I bet you could do something like that there even. That's kind of small. I don't know how small the area. I mean, you were doing those little stems and stuff. So here's another page that would be considered an ad page for the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And again, we've got a QR code so you can see how it all works. This is the mini. This is the regular one, the regular sized one. Does anybody besides me have both sizes? This one is so nice and light. I think like 95% of the dies can go through this small one because the dies are small enough. That's what the statistic used to be, I think, like 95% or more could go through the little one. Embossing folders, not so much. Juju, you've got 5 of them. I've got 1, 2, 3. I'm sure I have at least 5 because I've got 2 other little ones that are set aside for classes. Yeah, I've got a bunch. Plus, I've got some older versions as well that I'll loan out to, like, if I've got a new person that's local to me and they don't have a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, I'll loan them one until they get all their stuff because I'm nice that way. All right, now we're to the dies. And again, you can see all of these solid images. Those are regular dies. When we look at this one that's got less, so I'm looking on page 58, it's not a solid image, so you can tell that's an impressions one. So both of these are the impressions ones. The little one is, I love the little one. It's very light. Very light. So maybe like if they're a free shipping day, that would be probably something worth thinking about to get on a free shipping day, because it's a higher price item. But you know, you get your discount, so there's that. There is that. All right, so most of these you can see are new. These are not. Oh, the perennial postage stamps, I'm glad those are staying, because I like to use those. But a lot of new things. Nature Symphony is not new. The gears, Words of Beauty, the alphabet. This is that other big alphabet that goes with the banner dies. That's still available as a bundle. All right. So these alphabet dies, the party alphabet, they're big. They're like, what, 3 inches? So this is an expensive set. But it's pretty versatile, and it'll be pretty timeless too, because those are just like plain block letters. All right, so here we morph into embossing folders and punches. So these are kind of considered some of your tools. Not as many embossing folders in this catalog as there have been in the past. This has only got 2 embossing folders. So I'm going to have to order this one, because that's that floral spray one that I thought was pretty cool. I do have the fern and floral one, which is very pretty. But then some essential punches. You know, there are more punches available through the online exclusives, but not very many punches in here either. All right, this little trio, these are small, but it gives you a nice little slit, like a tag cut, and then just a dot if you want it, if you're making tags. This triple banner one is pretty cool too. I don't have that one yet because I don't know that I would use it enough to really do the $26 investment for me, because I cut most of my banners manually and it's fast enough for me. This tag one is pretty cool though. If you like making like file folder tabs, like here, I could, if I had that punch, I could make some of them for my catalog and attach them if I had that punch, but I don't. All right, so now we are into the paper. Okay, so something that's different this year that I've not noticed before is, we'll get to it in a minute, the in color, this paper. We'll get to that in a minute. All right. So these are highlighting some of the suites, but it's also showing some alternate card samples. Pretty cool. These are all new papers. I'm pretty certain I have this one. I don't think I've used it though. This one we used just barely, but I'll need to pull that out because there's some fun stuff to do with that. And this one that's on my agenda too, because I have this one. I love that paper. I love all the nautical things. All right. You can, with some of these papers, pay attention, because if they're designed for a scrapbooking suite, you will have an order number for just the paper, or you will have an order number to get the paper and a sticker sheet. All right. So if it goes to a suite, you're going to see a sticker sheet. Whether it's a scrapbooking suite, I'm guessing these would all be scrapbooking suites. All right. So you can get just the paper without getting the stickers. All right. So if you see the difference in price, $13 for the designer series paper standalone. With the stickers, it's $17.50. All right, so $4.50 for that sticker sheet. All right, 12 sheets, 12 sheets, 12 sheets. All right, so those are all two-sided. This is that flocked paper I told you about. This is the iridescent. So those, because they're specialty papers, they are a little bit more expensive, okay? So these specialty papers are 17. This basic paper, because it doesn't have any metallic or foiling or flocking or anything like that, that's 13. All right, and the papers for the most part are all double-sided. So if you're not familiar with Stampin' Up! Papers. All right, this Luxe white paper is that like resist emboss paper. That's also a specialty paper. You get 6 sheets, that's $10. So just keep in mind that you don't get 12 sheets for that one. All right. And then the in color, normally with our in color papers, let me try to pull one out. Well, I don't have one that's in the wrapper because I used up most of it. But these used to come 6 by 6 and you would get 48 sheets. All right. So now you're getting 20 sheets. You'll get 4 out of a sheet if you go 6 by 6. So you're getting 80 sheets, 80 6 by 6s for $19. So it's a little bit more expensive than it was before. But this is a big pack of paper if you were to cut it down into 6 by 6. I think what Stampin' Up! Has done is, because the in color painted patterns, is this Settles, Brights, in color, basics, neutrals, regals. So all of the core colors you can get in this design. And there's a different number for each of the sets of colors. But Stampin' Up! Used to do these in 6 by 6, and I think why they've gone to the 12 by 12. First off, it's probably more efficient to do 12 by 12s, but also because so many more people are coming in and doing the memory keeping again. These are more versatile for the people that want to do memory keeping as well. So how do you balance that out? You know, you've got a paper that maybe memory keeping people would really like, but oh, it's only in the 6 by 6, so they can't use it. Or do you do the full size, and then those of us that might want 6 by 6 cut it down? For me, I would just as soon have them in the 12 by 12s, because then I can cut them in 4-inch strips, 4 by 6, and then I've got like a card front size or close to an envelope size. So rather than the 6 by 6, you know, I guess I'm kind of doing the same thing if I do a 4 and a 2, but this way I can cut my 4-inch strips more efficiently, I guess. I don't know. All right, so here we've got more papers. So you've got your basic envelopes. You've got note cards and envelopes, and you've got the basic medium ones. We also have clear envelopes. These are really nice when you're doing like a swap. And then fluid 100 paper, the silver paper, gold paper, window sheets. They now have these flat cellophane bags. We haven't carried those for a while. So treats, supplies for if you're doing classes and, you know, separating some things. These will not be big enough to hold a card front though. All right, so a card front in the US would be 4 1/4. This is only as wide as 4. So don't think that you'll be able to like put a card kit in them. They're not going to be big enough for that. The basic white cardstocks are here. And then these scallop boxes. This is part of that suite that's going to be a 1-year availability item. The velveteen. This coordinates with that flocked paper. These are just solid sheets. And don't forget, you can emboss things like this. I'm not talking about heat embossing, but the dry embossing where you run it through the machine. These make really nice impressions when you put them through the machine. All right. We've got some shimmer vellum. I think I might have, maybe I have this. This is a pearlized paper. Maybe I have that. I don't remember if I got the shimmer vellum or not. But you can see several of these are part of a suite. Several of these are new. You can see where these bags were new. All right, and now we're into the mix and match things. All right, so these are like those ephemera pieces. Does it say mix and match ephemera packs? I thought these were all self-adhesive. I don't see where it says on there that they're self-adhesive, but it could just be that I'm missing it. But it's fun to add elements like that that you don't have to worry about, oh, I didn't stamp it quite dark enough, but they're just fun items that can coordinate. Very cool. All right, more mix and match stuff. So we've got ephemera packs. Let's see if this says anything. 6 sticker sheets. 6 sticker sheets. 6 sticker sheets. Sticker. These labels. 2 each of 2 adhesive back label designs. So those are adhesive as well. These black and white ones are not adhesive. I do have those, and those do not have adhesive on them. All right. Essentials mix and match 12 by 12. What's in that craft class again? I don't remember. Paper medley mix in designer series paper 166 759. $7.59. I wonder if it's in here. This is the paper that's for the craft class. The paper medley, if you're interested. All right. So now we're into more of the memory keeping things. So these flip flaps. 6 by 8 memory protectors. These are new. This is not a size that we've carried before. Top load, side load. You've got some that have 2 holes, 3 holes, so pay attention if you're ordering your sheet protectors. This one has 25 pieces in it, so it's $30. This one only has 10. So watch how many pages you're getting out of your packages too. Oh, I didn't realize the hybrid refill. I might have missed ordering that. Oh, that's all right. All right, so this basic black, we've looked at this one before. You open it like it's a book, like it's hinged, not like the metal. I just marred my book. Not like it's these metal magnetic stamp cases. It'll dry. Nothing wrong with having your catalog a little loved, right? It's all good. All right. The white gel pens, journaling pens. These pens are really fun. All right, what else? Embellishments on page 72. So all kinds of different kinds. There's not as much ribbon. All right, so basically we've just got the in colors in a ribbon. So any other ribbons that we may have are going to be online exclusives. Okay. A whole sheet of adhesives. Pay attention to this bottom legend here. All right. So you're going to have a symbol here. That means this glue is good for cardstock and paper. The glue is good for ribbon. The glue is good for embellishments. It's good for die cuts. All right. They do not recommend it for 3D projects. All right. So this one is for embellishments and die cuts, the fine tip glue. Let's say our mini dimensionals. That's good for cardstock and paper and die cut things. Let's see if we have one that says 3D items. Here, the Stampin' Seal Plus is recommended for 3D projects. So this little key down here tells you what these things stand for. So that's something good to know. All of our tools. Take your pick tool. That's like my favorite. This impressions plate, don't forget, if you've got people that are getting those impressions dies, the dies will not work if they do not have this impressions plate. That rubber type mat, silicone mat. All right. Here's that take your pick crafter tips with the rotary wheel, the cutting thing, and that hook, and the long, skinny, pointy part. There's that hook where you can get things out of the dies. And then of course all the blocks. Simply Chamois, that's a really good tool I can't live without. Love that. I do not see any extra plates for the Stampin' Positioner. We do have the grid paper, so if you have a Stampin' Positioner but didn't order the grid paper for it, you can order that. That way if you've got, let's say you're using the hybrid ink, if you didn't have grid paper on there and something was misaligned, and if you got ink on your platform, it's going to stain, just so you know. And that hybrid ink, just as a reminder, that stains as well. All right, so I don't have any other notes with all of these tools. We've got our alley-oop tool, blending brushes, blender pens. I think tomorrow, well, later today, when I do my video, I'm going to make a refill to see if I can rejuvenate the bunch of blender pens I have to hold me over until I want to buy new ones. Okay. Oh, maybe we should do some masking stuff too. That might be fun. So many ideas when you look through a catalog. And the shimmer brushes. This is a new item that is awesome. And Stampin' Up! Is going back to these little Stampin' Spots too that are pre-inked. I don't think they've been in a couple of the catalogs, and I think people really miss them. Here's those soft pastels that I was using the other day. A lot of fun stuff. Oh, these are the masks. I have this highlighted that I showed a few days ago. We'll have to play with those with some water type things, I think. Or maybe to make a giraffe. I don't know. We'll see. But then we've got in colors. So here's all of our new in colors and all of the little products that have those. So there's the bordered ribbon, the alcohol blends, the ink pad, and these ink pads. Let's go to the hydrangea hue. I've mentioned before, these are new. They are more expensive than the old compact ones where sometimes you had to fight to open them all the way, slide them. Sometimes they hung up. I would put a little dab of Vaseline in my tracks. But sometimes they're hard to open, especially for my customers that have arthritis issues. These are so fun because they're magnets. They can sit like this. You get 4 labels. So you can put labels on the ends. You can put labels on the inside. You can kind of make them your own. And then I will put color coaches on the back of these new ones as well. These new stamp pads, and I can do these one-handed, which is pretty awesome. If you ever lose a die and you've been having your inks out, check your ink pad because your ink pad will pick up some of the smaller dies. These, if you've got like Stampin' storage units for your ink pads, or if you have the Stampin' Up! Storage for your ink pads, these will fit quite nicely. My Stampin' storage units, I had to put a spacer behind these so that they wouldn't go too deep. Now I can take the spacer out and these sit really nice. All right, so they don't fall out. They're not all sloppy. They work quite nice with either storage unit. And only the in colors are going to be released in these magnetic pads for this year. Starting in 2027, Stampin' Up! Is going to start rolling out these ink pads for all of the other colors, along with a planned color refresh. The last time we had a refresh, 11 colors got retired and 11 colors came in to make up basically the 50 colors. So you've got your 4 color families and then you've got your in colors. All right. I think that's all I wanted to say on that. So Starting in 2027, we're going to start getting new ink pads for all of the other colors. So if you've got ink pads now that are working, certainly don't feel like you have to replace them. But these new ink pads, aside from the compact design the case difference, there's magnets obviously around the edges, but they have felt pads instead of foam. So the foam re-inker formula is different from felt pad re-inker because the dyes and whatever chemicals they use in the inks react differently to foam or felt. So you want to make sure that you're using a re-inker that goes with the pad type that you're ordering. All right, so keep that in mind. And here are all of the little colors. All right, if you want cardstock, here's the key. This is cardstock. This is 12 by 12 two-tone cardstock, which is a little bit thinner than the regular cardstock. Your stamp pads, these are all of your order numbers, right? Your refills, these are the order numbers. Your Stampin' Blends, those come in 2 packs. So you get a light and a dark. You cannot buy them individually. So if you use up and dry out or wear out the tips on a light one, you cannot just order a light one, you have to order a set. All right. The in colors, we have a symbol here that's showing the new stamp case. So just for the in colors has that new stamp case design. And then we've got some of our basic colors. You will see Crumb Cake is listed as a basic color, but it's also in the neutrals. Okay. Whether it's going to be part of a color refresh and maybe come out of neutrals, I don't know. I'm hoping Secret C next year, that's going to be with the in colors that'll go out. Hopefully Secret C will be one of the colors that they keep with the color refresh. We'll have to see because that Secret C is really a cool color. All right. Now, if you want to order by a collection, you can order cardstock. You'll get 20 sheets. You can get it in the subtles. You can get all the brights. It's like a sample pack. Same thing with your designer series paper. You'll get 20 sheets. It's a sample pack. All right. So basically you get 2 of each color because each category has 10 colors. Okay. The Stampin' Bundle, the ink pad bundle is the same thing. So if you're getting 10 colors, it's $99. That's why the price is so high. That's what it is for 10 stamp pads. Okay. Now, you figure a regular stamp pad is $11. So for 10 of them, that'd be $110. So you're saving your $11 because you save 10% because it's bundled. Okay. And then you can also get your ink refills. So if you've got a bunch of ink pads in the old style, the foam style, and you don't have re-inkers, if your pads are in good shape, you might want to consider purchasing the re-inkers. If you're like me, going to transition to all the new ink cases, just buy the refills when you buy your new inks, would be my recommendation. Okay. The index to me is a really helpful tool, not only to find products, it's all by category. So you've got dies, embellishments, embossing folders, all the things. But this is where I try to keep my inventory. All right, so I highlight the things that I have. I haven't marked very much. I'm behind. All right. Here's some of their legalese. And then in the back, we've got another ad page about Stampin' Rewards. Make sure that you opt in. Make sure that you have an account. Not in that order. You need the account first and then opt in. And then this back page is that page on the front where it's got page 87, what your demonstrator can do for you. That's this. All right. So me, anybody on my team, any other outside demos that aren't involved in my team but hang out here, that's fine. We can do all kinds of things for you. All right. So we can craft with you in different ways. We can set up classes. We can do things online. We can help you order things. We can support your crafting addiction, your crafting needs, your crafting wants, whatever. Okay. And if you want to join, you can go to stampinup.com/join. There is the joining offer right now that you get to add, well, automatically will be added to your cart, these 5 ink pads. All right, new in colors. And then the back is just, again, like a mini table of contents that says where the designer series paper is and all the things. All right. If you have a catalog and it's blank on the back, put my name in there. Put my email in there. I'd be happy to help you with all of your crafting desires. All right. So there's our long walkthrough. My throat is really dry. Hopefully you saw some things that maybe you missed before or didn't know about the layout and all of that, and why we went to a smaller catalog 3 times a year instead of a big one and 2 smaller ones. So I think that's all I've got for tonight. We will see if I can get through and highlight all of the things that I have. We'll do that challenge. I'll try to post that tomorrow. Last Sunday, that May 3rd, will be the first day. I'll try to get that posted. And I might give everybody an extra week to do that one. But you can go back like within that month. If I'm going to do a drawing once a month, if you didn't do the first week's challenge and you do it the second week and get caught up by the end of the month, I'll enter you in once for each challenge. So if you do 5 cards for one challenge, I'm only going to put your name in there once. All right. You're an overachiever. I think it's awesome. And thank you for sharing all of your cards. But for me to try to keep track of a lot of those for this challenge, I think it'll just be easier if each challenge I give you one entry basically. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with me this long. Vicky, Juju, whoever else might be here. I know there's a few of you still here. If you've got questions about anything in the catalog or anything that I mentioned tonight, shoot me an email. Even if I'm not your demonstrator, if you're a demonstrator on your own and you have a question about something, I'm more than happy to give you a hand. Let's see if I have any other notes here. Oh, one other thing. This smaller catalog, each of the 3 that come out each year, are going to be different from the mini catalogs. Even though they've got about the same pages, they're all going to be portrait, where the other mini catalogs used to be landscape. But the other mini catalogs never had all of the core items. Like it didn't have cardstock. It didn't have ink. It didn't have snips. And, you know, of course, snips aren't in here right now either. We're waiting for a new snips. But like the trimmer and the embossing machine, those were not necessarily in the mini catalogs. All right, if there was something new, it might have been in there. But these catalogs are going to have all of those core items. So if you're handing a catalog to a new person, they might see a suite and not realize that, oh, there's cardstock, there's this, there's that, because it wasn't in the catalog anywhere. This way they can see all those things and know that those might be things that they want. All right. Anything that I missed that anybody wants more information on? I think that's all of my highlights here for what I wanted to cover. Definitely thank you for hanging out with me. I hope it was informative. I'm missing one of my little documents here I had on my screen. No questions, no comments. I'll open, here we go. Well, sorry we didn't do any crafting tonight. Sorry you got to hear me struggle with my voice just because it's dry. But I hope I highlighted a few things you didn't know. So I'll see you all in about, I don't know, 21, 22 hours or so. Until then, get some sleep, enjoy your day, and happy crafting. Well, I'm glad, Juju. I'm glad it was helpful. And you're welcome, Vicki. We'll see y'all next time.